Hi, this is how you build the back. Inside this back, remember there's a few more parts that you might need. Okay, this is that slide I saw before. For the back, yeah, we need all this. Magnets are optional. This was in the initial design, but then I built and tested a few cameras. There's absolutely no light leaks, and the back stays attached to the door through another mechanism, so there's no danger of it coming out. If you want, you can always have the magnets. So we'll start with this. So we need to look at the orientation of the camera. So there's one side that goes with it. And actually inside the other little bag of opinion magnets, there's two more parts that go with the back. I'll bring them here. They are these two. Let's see how to build this. We start with this part and this part here. These are the little windows where we'll see the numbers in the backing paper. And this mechanism is made so that, you know, it locks into place, and then when it slides and goes into the other position to close the window here. And basically, you will see it goes like this. So this pin will go here, and this opens the window and closes the window. Now, it's important that this is oriented correctly. If you do the other side and try to mount it like this, you will see that now there's no hole to put the pin inside here. So you need to be careful with that. And again, log on the bottom. So this is vertical. A is in the bottom, B is in the top. We'll see that later why. And so this part here should go on the side of the logo. So it's oriented like this. This will go here, numbers up. Okay, and you test here. If you see the little gap and you can put the pin inside and move it, then it's mounted correctly. Now, once you do that, you take this assembly and you flip it like this. You flip this, and now, and this is how this should be glued. Again, to remember this, you can take a pencil or something and draw some line that connect here, so you remember this is the side. You can also take this and do some marking that indicates the parts to glue together. Yeah, and this is how it works. So it goes like this, and then here there will be, if you want, you can put the magnet. This is time to put the magnets. Once this is glued like this, there's no, you know, this locks the magnet into place so it doesn't come out. But it's also impossible to put the magnet later. So it goes like this. And this part here, so now this can be used either side, it doesn't matter. This will go here. Now, after you mount this, you need and glue it. Make sure these are straight, that they are not pointing out. If they point out, will be a bit of a problem putting inside our camera, because we'll hit this side here. Make sure they are straight up, and at the end you might give it a little bit of a sanding here to the side so that it goes inside there easily. Now, this is the pressure plate. This ensures that the film is pressed against the film gate, and we'll have a little bit of a spring here. So we need I use this foam here as a spring, and sometimes you can use two of them. This compresses very well, becomes very thin, and the pressure plate really needs to be like 3 millimeters elevated here, and this should have a soft action, because you don't want to press the film too hard against the film gate, otherwise it scratches. For now, so to do this, you will need some glue, probably super glue will do. And we'll cut a few strips. So we'll cut one that is the size of this window, more or less. It doesn't matter, it's approximately like this. And it can be mounted either side. Oops. Yeah. Do this once this is glued. I will mount here. So this will provide, you know, spring support for the top. And then these two here one goes in one side and one goes the other side. Yeah, imagine, I don't want to waste your time watching me peeling tape. If it's too long, give it a little bit of a trim. Yeah. And then you will need to glue this foam to this tape, or you can double up the tape and add, another strip here, another here, and glue the tape there. So glue the tape together, and then this will attach here, and the other side of the sticky tape will attach there. And basically it should be glued like this. And this will be the pressure plate. Now, how does it work inside the camera? So there's another part here. Let me see. So inside here, so this will be the film gate. If you decide to use a pinhole, it's fine. There's not much you need to do, except maybe sanding gently to smooth out any edge here, because the film will be running along this edge here, and you want to make sure it's not scratched. And the film gate is simply mounted here. Now, if you are planning to use a lens, then probably you might use this to cut some shims of paper. Use this as a guide to take some craft paper and use this, to trim the thing, and basically create some little shim that you might use to get the lens to focus at infinity. Put them under if you need to raise the film to increase the distance between the film gate and the lens to focus. Now, okay, we'll put this back here. We pretend everything is good. Very important also, before you glue this part, again, if you use a lens, you want to make sure you get the flange distance correctly using the shims. If you plan to use it as a pinhole, very easy, you just attach it here. And basically now this is not glued, so this pin might fall off. But basically this plate here will pressure the film here gently with this soft sponge, and will keep the film flat against this. Yeah. And that's how the film back works. One last thing. Now we'll remove all these parts. So once you mount the back on the camera, again, now I mounted it wrong. So top, up, logo. So logo on the bottom, logo closed, the side of the tripod mount. A is at the bottom, B is at the top, because as you roll the film will come out of here. So you will see the first number here, number 1. You take a picture, you move the film up, and number 1 will appear here, and you take another picture. Now, once, I told you before, you can use magnets to hold these parts together. Remember, you can put the magnets inside here, and these 2 magnets will line up here. One thing you could do to help, getting this right every time, because, it would be a bit annoying. It's still possible to take pictures, it doesn't ruin anything. But, it's a bit annoying. Once you put film, you cannot take this out, and you don't want to have the logo upside down. If you decide to use magnets, you can invert the polarity of the magnet so that it makes it, it will push away when you try to put it the wrong way, and will attract the back towards the body of the camera when you put it the right way. So that will help you. If you decide not to use the magnets, you can still use these are provided in the package, and these pins, you need to be careful, but once the back is mounted flush with everything, they just insert, insert there and click. There are a little bit of spring action. Insert there and click, and they lock the back here. I usually do this once I have the film inside here, and also there's a little gap here. Usually I slide in the what's called the film the little paper from the film to remind myself of what film is mounted inside. Anyway, if you open the little window here, you will be able to see there's a backing paper of a film, so you know if film is loaded. But for my cameras, usually I once I have the film loaded, I keep this mounted here, and then when it's time to take it out, you just press here and slide it out.